All right, the next portion of our activity is about automatic constraints. When you are creating a sketch in OnShape or any CAD software, there's some automatic constraints that can occur. So first of all, looking down here, here's our geometric constraints down here in this bottom of this group. But we're going to go ahead and go up, select the line tool. You don't have to follow along with this at home. You could just watch this. But as I add points, so I'm going to put my first point in there, and I begin to create my first line. So I'm pushing and holding to create that next point. Notice you'll start to see some constraints lock in. Like right there, it jumps to be a perfectly vertical line. It's actually going to lock in a vertical constraint. Same thing if I went horizontal here. It'll also lock into some other points. So see that little square box around there, which means it's locking in a coincident constraint to that point, which in this case is the origin. It's also will lock in, so like see it jump there, it's locking in to that y-axis. Okay, so there's a lot of constraints that can occur. This one, for some reason, again, in OnShape, they like to use vertical constraint rather than perpendicular when it is perfectly vertical. I'm assuming when it's not, then it will lock in a perpendicular constraint when necessary. One other thing, let me go ahead and do one more point here. Okay, so sometimes it won't automatically do the constraint that you're thinking. Like if I wanted it to lock in on that point to the left, it's not doing it currently. But bringing the point over close to it and then back over creates that dotted line. And now it's locking into that constraint. And you can constrain it to many things, like you can constrain it to a midpoint. See that midpoint there? There we go. Now it's grabbing the midpoint. It's currently constrained to the y-axis, the midpoint of that line. So just be aware that this is occurring as you're creating it, because sometimes it will lock in an automatic constraint you don't want. And in the activity, sometimes they'll tell you, make sure you're not locking in an automatic constraint. All right? Best of luck.